Hello, my friends. How are we doing on this wonderful day? Each day we wake, we open our eyes, we have a chance to do it right, a chance to do what we did not do the day before. I want to talk to you about this thing called old age. But let me be very specific. I don't do old age. That's been my point of view for quite some time now. I don't do old age. Old age is a concept. Old age is a state of mind. Chronologically, I am 71 years old, if we call it that way. But I don't subscribe to the notion that being older mean you get worse. Cars and trees and buses and trucks get old and they become less functional. But we have the capacity to be quite different. So I want to share some ideas how to navigate that space between 70 and the upper limits of human possibility. And this was prompted by a good friend of mine, who many times we interact almost daily intellectually. And sometimes I get the feeling that he is not doing very well with the whole aging process. So the construct that I've been using, I've been talking about this thing called anchor leg of life. The anchor leg of life, that's that last phase. Preparing for and successfully executing that space between 60 and above in body, mind, and spirit. And to do so, we have to master the psychology of aging. So I want to share some ideas with you about this, and please challenge me if you think I'm wrong. But guess what? If you're lucky, you get to get older. But let's see how we're going to cope with this. Now, how does the world see old age? You see the words that the world now use: elderly, ancient, antediluvian, antiquated, antique, grey, oldie, shot, creaky, moth-eaten, over the hill, been around, passé, senior citizen, worse for wear, and on and on and on. These are the constructs that are utilized as the synonym for what is called old age. Telling you straight up, I refuse to be any of these people. And no me them I talk about. It is not I. Not me. Never was, never will be. There are other options. Let's see if we can share them and get a few. Now, let's change the process a little. And I say, welcome to the Elite Over 70 Club. This is a very elite space. And if you look at the numbers that were presented here, Italy, 17.5% of their population is over 70. The US is 11.3, but then all the way down to lower income countries is 2%. But you see the relationship between income and aging. Latin America and the Caribbean, 5.8. Jamaica, right as part of that mix, 6. So there is a relationship between the two. Is a relationship. And this is a very elite club. So you see, at best, Italy, 17.5% of persons are in that club. In the US, 11.3. So by the way, you're seeing that just having a high GDP is not enough to get you into that club. A lot of other things. Jamaica is just 6% of the population that are in that club. This elite club of persons 70 and over. Special place to be. Because we're still alive. Now, the question then is, how will you utilize that time left on your clock? How will you utilize that time? The clock is ticking. Hmm? For a male at 70, they're 14.4 years on the average left on the clock. At 75, it's 11.1 years left on the clock. Females are doing a little better when you see the time. Huh? At 70, 16.6 years left on the clock. By the time you get up to 80, it's 8.3 for men and 9.7 for women. So you we become very conscious at this time that time is a commodity that you must make sure you use it very carefully. How are you using this time? How will you utilize this time left on your life expectancy clock? When you're in your 20s, you see life very differently. But when you get to the point where the clock is ticking even harder now, we can do something quite specific about this. Now, the the most important aspiration at this time is to live a healthy and happy life. That's the single most important thing that one needs to aspire to do, to be healthy and happy. What else? It's amazing when I see people who are in their 70s still trying to amass how much more wealth, how much more property can they get, how much more food can you eat. For me, the most important aspiration at this phase is to be healthy and happy. Very critical. Very critical. Now, we can take it a little further. The most important question for me then is, what is it that will give me joy? Because let's assume, all right, you're alive, you're up. What will give me joy this year? What will give me joy this month? This week? Today? Most importantly, now. There's not much else that I need to be concerned about and worry about. Huh? Not much more that we need to do. What will you do now? How will you deal with these issues? I see a comment here from Carrie. Saw a funny post recently that's getting old is just outliving the warranty. Who says so, huh? On a more serious note, in the process of recovering from a stroke, I have been guided by my therapist and my wife to books on uh, neurotherapy, about retraining the brain. Absolutely. The brain has the capacity to retrain to do all kinds of things. So the question then is health and happiness. What will bring you joy today? More importantly, what will bring you joy now? I start my morning with my morning meditation and a cup of Blue Mountain coffee. Then 3 mornings a week, I do a 5K, a walking 5K, usually with about 55 minutes or less, because what you need to do is to raise your heart rate to about 120. The other 3 mornings, I go to the gym to full body resistance training, serious weights, and then 1 day a week, rest, because you have to keep that system working. Because it's clear, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? So that's a necessary thing. Now, interacting with my friend who is not most of the time handling this phase to me adequately, I feel it necessary to add this component here. On hearing of the passing of your contemporaries. That is something that is now most common, because once you get past 75, once you definitely get past 70, one of the most common thing that you're attending is funerals. And when you inquire about your contemporaries, you hear who is sick, who is in the hospital, who just died, who is not doing so well. So it takes its toll on you if you allow it. So may I suggest the first you need to do when you hear about the passing of one of your contemporaries? Give thanks for the value that they added to your life. Give thanks that you knew this person. Give thanks for the time you shared with them. Hmm? Then the next step, be grateful that your life has been extended. Because if these are your contemporaries, that means that you're in the same batch, so to speak. Huh? Then next you ask your question, how should I best use, huh? How should I best use the extra time that I have with respect to them? Hmm? What is it that will give me joy today? Because you become much more aware now that life is to be enjoyed, not endured. Life is to be enjoyed. So when I see cantankerous old people, you wonder if they got a different awakening. How do they have time to be cantankerous in their old age? But yes, Maslow spoke about that. So, on hearing of the passing of your contemporaries, unlike the youth who believe that they will live forever, you now know better once you reach that elite category of 70 and over. Now is the time for you to put as much living into each day. Live each day to the maximum. So, the start of my day is meditation, exercise, and the gym to maximize my physical capacity. The end of my day, I've now taken over a lot of the cooking of dinner because I am working on a process, folks, that you can prepare an elegant, excellent meal in under 1 hour. This notion of spending 2, 3 hours making a meal, my specialized meal, and I focus on modern, international culinary range of tastes. And the total time for prepping and preparing and cooking should not be more than 1 hour. And then you serve and you dine. And you spend more time at the dining table than you did in the kitchen. That's how my model works. And sometimes it's 2 hours at the dining table. Sometimes it's 3 hours just having pleasant conversation after a wonderful meal. So you get as much living out of each hour, out of each day. Hmm? So, as I call this the anchor leg of life, I say, I don't do old age. It's important that you prepare yourself for this phase. And if we just look back at the critical sign, that it's important that you realize that this critical phase, here is the what's left on the clock. At 70, 14.4 years on the average for men, 16.6 on the average for women. You maximize this. You maximize it. Get the most out of it. Realize that based on the culture you live in, the category that you're in, this elite club of people 70 and over, as high as 17.5% in Italy, but as low as 2% in lower income countries. But many of us fall somewhere in the middle. So you realize that you are in a very special club, very special club. And the idea is to make the most of it, the most of it. So wherever you are on this cycle, we don't have time to waste. Literally, I mean that literally. Once you get to that elite category, you now make sure you make the most of your time. You spend it doing as much as you can with the people that you enjoy being around, being the things that you want to do. One of my objective, during this phase is to how much less do I need? How much can I give away? How much can I do without? How can I lighten my load? How can I bring joy to as many people as possible? How can I share what I've accumulated, especially intellectually, mentally, experientially? Because it's the good you do that lives on after you. In the African worldview, it is said that, once people call your name, you're still with them, you're still alive. And it's the things that you do that make you live on and on and on. So that, folks, if you are lucky, if you are fortunate, if circumstances work in your favor, you get to join this club. This is the most elite club in the world, persons 70 and over. And to reach that phase, have all your faculty, you can nurture it. What do you need to survive? You don't need that much. You don't need that much. Spend your time around the people that you love. And more importantly, the people that love you. Do the things that make you happy. Life is to be enjoyed, not endured. So, as I started out by saying, folks, you can understand the reasons I don't do old age. I don't recommend it. I don't accept it, because the words that we currently use for old age, those words are not me them I talk about. No, I am not part of the elderly, the ancient, the creaky, the over the hill, the time worn. Oh, you see the one senior citizen? Whenever I go to a bank and there's a senior citizen line, I gladly use that line, because at least you get through a little faster. That's the only. So I'll work with it then. But outside of that, no, no, no. I refuse to be any of these people. More so, I don't recommend it for anyone. Old age is a construct. Old age is a state of mind that I don't encourage people to aspire towards. Have a wonderful day. Make the most of it. And if you are lucky, if you are fortunate, you get to join this club, this elite club that at best have anything from 2% to 15% of the population. Do enjoy. Do enjoy.